Okay, so today we're diving into something that I think is on a lot of people's minds, and that is the question of how much money you really need to buy a house in Orange County, California.
Yeah.
We're trying to get down to like the real numbers here, using some data to kind of cut through all the, kind of like noise and speculation about affordability in this very, very popular area.
Right. Yeah.
And the data that we're using is from a recent report that was featured on the ABC7 YouTube channel. So,
Great source.
yeah. And so I guess the first thing that really jumps out is just how difficult it is to buy a house in Orange County.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like, that classic American dream of home ownership is looking more and more out of reach for a lot of people in Orange County.
Yeah. And they had some statistics in this report that really kind of drive that point home.
For sure. For sure.
So the California Association of Realtors had their first quarter housing affordability report. And in that report, they said that only 11% of households in Orange County can actually afford to buy a house at the median price.
Wow, 11%.
11%. It's so...
That's incredibly low.
It's really low. And it kind of makes you wonder, like, what does that mean for the future of Orange County, in terms of like who's going to be living there and that kind of thing?
Yeah, are we going to see some kind of big shift in the makeup of the people who live there because they can afford it?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, and then when you look at what the median price actually is, it makes it really clear why only 11% of households can afford it.
Yeah.
So that median price in the first quarter was about $1.3 million.
Okay, so $1.3 million, that's
for the median house.
a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. And so based on that median price, they said that you would need to be making almost $350,000 a year.
Wow. Okay, so almost $350,000.
To be able to afford a house in Orange County.
Just to be able to, like not even live comfortably, but just to be able to buy.
Just to qualify for a mortgage, yeah.
Yeah, wow. That's a huge hurdle for most people.
It's a huge hurdle, and so it's interesting to compare that to like the rest of California to see, like, is Orange County just like way out there, or are things kind of similar across the state?
Right. Is it just a California problem?
Yeah. And so they actually said that the minimum qualifying income to buy a house in California overall is about $208,000.
Okay, so still a lot.
Still a lot, but...
What's significantly less?
Significantly less, yeah. So you're looking at like $150,000 more that you need to make in Orange County compared to the average for California.
Right. So it's definitely like even within California, Orange County is in its own kind of...
its own world category, for sure.
And then you look at the national level, and it's even more extreme. So that $350,000 that you need in Orange County, that's about 3.5 times what you would need to make on average in the U.S., which is closer to $100,000.
Wow. So you're talking about like completely different...
ballpark.
Yeah, like economic realities, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's clear that Orange County is kind of like in its own league when it comes to housing affordability. Yeah, for sure.
And so it makes you wonder, like, what's going on there? Like, what's driving these costs so high?
Right. What's so special about Orange County?
Well, and the report kind of talked about a couple of things, and I guess the first one is just that prices are going up in general.
Right. So we're seeing kind of an overall trend of increasing housing prices.
Right. And then on top of that, you have the issue of not enough new houses being built.
Okay. So it's like, even if mortgage interest rates were to, dip in the future, which some people are predicting,
right, it
might not even matter because there just aren't enough houses available for everybody who wants to live there.
It's that classic supply and demand,
Exactly.
And I guess the demand to live in Orange County remains high, so that's not really helping.
Not at all. Not at all. People love it there.
Yeah, and I guess I'm curious, too, like, within Orange County itself, are there certain areas that are more or less affordable than others? Like, is that 1.3 million median kind of like...
Is that across the board?
Yeah, does that play out, kind of equally across the whole county? Or... are there like pockets that are...
Yeah, that's a good point, because I would imagine if you're talking about coastal areas, those are probably going to be even more expensive.
I would think so.
Than like further inland.
Right.
So there's definitely like a variation within the county as well.
Right. And actually they did mention in the report that there are other areas in California that are even more expensive than Orange County.
Oh, really?
So they said San Francisco and Santa Clara counties...
Oh, wow, okay.
Are even more expensive.
So it really puts it into perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, like Orange County is expensive, but...
it's not even the most expensive.
It's not even the most expensive, so it kind of makes you wonder, like, what's going on in those areas, too.
Exactly. What are those numbers looking like?
Yeah, so I guess the main takeaway for anyone listening is that you need to be making a lot of money to buy a house in Orange County.
Right, that's the bottom line.
And those numbers are pretty stark. 1.3 million for the median price and almost 350,000 a year in income just to qualify.
Yeah, and it really kind of paints a picture of what the market's like right now.
Exactly, exactly. And so I guess the question for you listening is, what does this all mean for the future of homeownership?
Especially in those like super high demand coastal areas.
Right, like Orange County.
Yeah, like is it always going to be like this,
And
or
are things going to get worse?
are we going to see some kind of change?
Right, like are we going to see, maybe incomes go up to match those housing prices or
Right, or will there be some new like housing development strategies, or will interest rates like completely change the game?
who knows, but it's definitely something to think about.
A lot to consider,
Yeah, a lot to consider.
for sure.
All right, well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.